The Penrith game, the moment of that one is when Cleary could have put them up by 16-0 with a penalty and decided to go for the jugular and kick to the corner, and then we ended up holding them out, and then we scored our points.
I'm not going to get over it. And even if we go through and we win this Grand Slam, we win in South Africa next year, we win the World Cup, of course, that is a massive redemption. But I'm sure that every South African fan still looks at North Harbour 57-0 as an embarrassed by, and you've got to be embarrassed by that result.
Novak did that where he won 4 in a row.
But it's not a Grand Slam.
But he didn't do it. He hasn't done it in a calendar year.
DSPN, the Devlin Sports Podcast Network.
Mailbag time, Lachlan, on a Friday. Feedback Friday. Thank you so much for your comments and contributions, people. We will discuss, actually, when we're doing the mailbag thing. There were quite a few angry folk out there this week. I don't know whether it's the change in the weather or what the hell's going on in your personal life, but man, there was some vitriol expressed. Again, we got a moderator here at MediaWorks, and I don't know exactly what they do, but they look at the comments, and if they don't like the comments or they think that they are just way too much, what do they do, Lachlan? Do they press delete? Do they press block? Do they remove? I'm not sure.
The comment's removed, and depending on the severity of the comment, the person will be removed from the channel.
Okay, well, we don't want that at all, because we want to continue to communicate and to remonstrate and to pontificate and to create debate and to do all of that kind of stuff. So I welcome it all. I just, ask that, hey, you think about it a little when you write a comment, because if it is going to be ugly or abusive, well, then, yeah, it just gets removed. And yeah, well, I guess that's your choice. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying that, think about it a little. Let's kick it off with TJ. Tony Johnson joins us every Monday. We're so lucky to have him here on the DSPN. He's our DH designated hitter, and he brings just such gravitas to every chat that we have with him, every interview. A whole lot of comments about what Tony was saying on Monday. Let's just kick it off with this one. Toslade/Larson 5073. Again, I don't know where these names come from. In my opinion, New Zealand and Ireland have one of the best depths at 9. Doesn't quite make grammatical sense, but we get what you're saying. Pick any 9 as a starter from these countries and they'll play to the best of their abilities. When it comes to the All Blacks, it's our depth at 10 that's a problem. We need to build that, because South Africa 10's the best in the world, followed by France. I do tend to agree. I do tend to agree that we have a problem at 10. And we're all sitting there thinking that Richie Mo'unga's coming back and Mo'unga's the answer. But we're going to talk about Harry Godfrey a little later on. What an awful injury that is for him. You were saying this last week. Why don't we give more of our younger 10s a chance? Yes. Now, Jacob's just gone down to
the Highlanders.
Okay. Yeah. I think we've got a few bubbling under, and they're going to play on the New Zealand 15 team, I suppose. Is there any room for any of these guys to get some match time on the Northern Tour, the Grand Slam Tour?
No, because Scott Robertson will pick his 3 usual this year for first 5, which will be Beauden Barrett. Though, what's the latest with Barrett's injury? I'm sure he'll be fine by the time the Northern Tour starts. Damian, McKenzie and Ruben Love, which I would love to see. Ruben Love given a start against both Wales and Scotland, but we've talked about this. We do have an issue at 10.
Where does Mo'unga come back in the pecking order for you?
Well, he's got to TBC. He's got to prove himself.
Yeah.
He could turn up and he could be our fourth or fifth.
He could turn up and be our first.
Well, he could, but he could be a worst option.
Yeah.
You never know. I just quickly, we had a lot of depth in 2007. What did that do for us? We've had a lot of depth at World Cups, and we've choked at the World
Leonard,
Cup.
We had McAllister.
And Nick Evans. Those were our 3 main players. That was our 9, 10 and 12 in the dying stages of that quarterfinal against France.
I think Evans was off as well at that stage. So
I can't remember, but those 3, which doesn't fill you with much confidence. I mean, it's all well and fine having depth. You do need it when injuries hit. Obviously, we saw that in 2011 with our first 5s, but I'm more concerned about what the top 2 are.
Colin Fuller, 6361. It is unfair to say this is not a great All Black side. Remember that the 2025 side had been together a long time, created great combinations. That's obviously a slip of the typo. He means the 2015 side, right? That's what he means. I'm old enough to remember when the knives were out for Martin Nonu. Look at his legacy now. I disagree with you, mate. It's simply the truth. It's not a great All Black side. You earn greatness. That's the comment. That's the reply I gave you. And this side has not earned greatness yet. And
I think
they can, and their greatness will be defined by what happens on the South African tour next year, what happens on this Grand Slam tour, and obviously at the World Cup in 2027. It's in front of them, but they're not a great All Black side right now. And you can't I don't think you can say that they are.
Well, had a kick or two gone over in that final in 2023, we would view this All Black side totally differently.
Right.
Even if they were up and down with form, would say, well, they did. Right. The bones of the squad did win a World Cup 2 years ago, so that comes down to it. And that was the case with Martin Devlin. As much as he did have his critics, everyone knew that when he was not at when he was playing for the All Blacks, it didn't matter what he didn't do at super level. We knew he was going to perform.
Same as Bunty. There's a few of them that played like that.
Yeah.
Marcus Giannone. This is the book of
French fan. Here we go.
Book of Leviticus this week. Speculating about what if Australia scored and won the second game, and if this was thing, and speculate, and the whole email's about I kind of lost it a little bit reading it in the end, but he was just having a real crack at us saying, you can't speculate. Mate, speculating is half the fun of sport, isn't it?
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything. It's just saying, wow, what if that hadn't happened? What if Reece Walsh hadn't have thrown that pass? What if that pass had been a little bit off and that had got intercepted? What about against Penrith? If that intercept had have been...
Yeah, but Casey McLean was offside, so it was fairly pulled back.
This is these are just... What if the Russian linesman had have said that Jeff Hurst's ball hadn't have gone over the line in 1966? Would he have scored that fourth goal? Would it have gone to... Who knows? But speculation is part of sport. That's just what it is. Faith Karoki, 6536. Roy Gard was impressive. He played 76 minutes. This guy, Devlin... repeats the same platitudes every week. What in Test DMAC, not Super Rugby, whatever that means. I get it. He's not the analyst. He does need to be such a broken record. I suppose you mean I don't need to be such a broken record. Can I just explain this quickly again? As I said in the reply, it's pretty obvious, mate. First five role in a test match is test match rugby. It's not backyard touch rugby, which is what Super Rugby quite often is.
The defensive
I think most of us
system,
know what it is playing a test match. And look, I might repeat this ad nauseum. I apologise for that. But it is a real bugbear of mine with Damian McKenzie that if he gets that test match hat on, he plays different.
What were you saying a week or two ago that he needs to be starting because there's our best option at international level outside of Beauden Barrett? And then now you're again back to criticising him, saying he's not a test 10.
I thought he did against Australia in Perth what we needed him to do. Exactly.
Yeah, but does he win that test match against the Box? Does he win that test match against England and France and Ireland and those top sides?
He's speculating.
Sorry, we're not allowed to do that, so I'll turn my mic off.
Keep it simple, 183. I give the All Blacks a 6 out of 10. Poor effort versus South Africa and Argentina. Australia ranked where in the world rankings? The All Blacks struggle to put them away. All Black fans are too big-headed to even know what's what. They get a 3 out of 10. Wake up! Your rugby's on a downward spiral, similar to Wales.
Wait,
that's not Mark Watson, is it?
This guy gave them a 6 and then did he change it halfway through his message to a 3?
Look, again, it's just all personal opinion, and you can decide for yourself how you rate the All Blacks. We'll come back to this at the end of the mailbag because Mex gave it, I think, a really fair rating in his slot this week. Final one from Tone, JM-KY2NM. God, that just sounds like, I don't know, an OnlyFans site. The mood change from week to week on this show is incredible. And look, as I said, it probably mirrors the All Blacks' performance and results.
Yeah. Because we're fans.
We're fans, man.
Fans go through the motions.
That's it.
If we weren't going through the motions and we were smart and tactical with how we felt and thought in our analysis, well, we probably should be coaches.
Final one on Tony. AKHNZ says, if only Darcy Swain was still in the Wallabies, would have been great for him to watch Quinn Tupaia get his double and have such a great game. I only put that one in. Actually, there's one more for Tone. I only put that one in because every time that gets mentioned, I'd still wince about it. And I don't know what Darcy Swain has done for the rest of his life after this in the last 2 years.
I think he's sort of in and out of the Wallabies.
Is he?
Yeah. Plays for the Western Force.
That was one of the most disgraceful things I've ever seen on a rugby. I've seen people stomped on a rugby field. I've seen people kicked. I've seen all of that. But that was, man, the fact that he's still playing, I don't know. I don't think he was ever punished enough for that, to be honest. I hope he regrets every single second of it, and I hope he's reached out to Quinn Tupaia at some stage.
He probably has.
Yeah.
He probably does regret it. Move on. Don't give him
Le
any time.
Robussier. In historical terms, the capitulation at the capital will define the season and perhaps this whole World Cup
thoroughly
cycle
agree with that.
And Razor.
Yep, thoroughly agree with that. Absolutely. I think when it comes to the All Blacks, just quickly, there's the old saying that you're only as good as your last performance. I think with the All Blacks, the way we should look at it is you're only really as good as your worst performance that year.
Yeah, that's fair. And then because we set a huge high standard for this team. No, we don't set it. They set it. If you talk to
we help hold it up.
Yeah, and that's our job as fans.
Our weird sort of
but if you talk to any of the players, past players, these guys have that inside them. You just got to go back and watch that interview that we had with Sean Fitzpatrick. These guys, they are. This burns in them, and And that defeat, all of those players that played in that defeat will wear that forever, that they were part of the worst ever losing All Blacks side. Do you want that as part of your career? No. So how do you redeem that?
Win a World Cup.
Win the next World Cup.
Go and beat the Saffers when you next play them and then win the World Cup.
Greg Booth, 1551, in reply to you, Mr. Nigel Yeldon, who we love and respect so much, he said, it is a Grand Slam if we win all 4. I love the fact that Nigel is such a traditionalist. He says it's not a Grand Slam, Martin, because we're playing Ireland and Chicago. I'll disagree with you there, my man. I think it is a Grand Slam because we're playing all 4 of those countries, even though we should be playing them in Dublin if it's a Grand Slam. I used to argue with Telf about this. There was a time where Tiger Woods had all 4 of the majors, right? And we're around at dinner, me and Telf at Tiger's house. And
sure.
And Telf was arguing with Tiger and just saying, mate, it's not a Grand Slam. And I'm saying, what the hell? He's got the trophies on his bloody table, mate. And he said, yeah, but he didn't win them in a calendar year. And I'm saying, Tiger...
Did he win 4 in a row?
Saying, Tiger, tell his ass to get out.
Like, didn't Roger do that with the...
He won 4 in a row. He won 4.
Sorry, Novak did that where he won 4 in a row.
But it's not a Grand Slam.
But he hasn't done it in a calendar year.
I get the technicality, but I'll always argue that this is a Grand Slam too of the All Blacks.
Yes, if you win all 4 in a row, for sure.
Ace of Spades, interesting history. Do you like this stat? Never has a team that did not win the Rugby Championship / Tri-Nations gone on to win a Grand Slam in the same year.
Jeez, okay, you've got to...
Somebody stat it up here.
Yeah.
I hope that stat is right. I trust you that it is right.
So you've got to find teams who have done a Grand Slam, did they win the Rugby? So we did the Grand Slam in 2010, and we did it in, was it 06?
05, I think it was, wasn't it?
And then the last time was in the 80s, wasn't it?
We did it we played a couple of them. We did it in 78. We did it a couple of times back-to-back in the 2000s.
We surely did it in the 2010s apart from 2010 at some point, surely.
Good stat.
Very good stat,
Good stat. I like it.
It's hard to... You have to do a lot of research and a lot of double checking and triple checking.
Yeah, and we haven't done that. I'm trusting you. Ross Calo says, guys, you've just come second in the Rugby Championship. Same points level as the Box. You could have won it. You need to calm down and raise it. Let's see how the end of year tour goes first before you'll start freaking out about the coach. There are some big games in Europe for the All Blacks. Let's see how they play and perform on this.
Half agree. I think had we only lost to the Box by say 4 or 5 points, and we didn't fall away at the end of the way we did at the end of that second test at the Cape Town, yeah, I'd agree with that. But I just plus
the defeat against Argentina was as ugly as well.
We lost that more so. Argentina were great, but we very much lost that game. No, I just think the manner that we lost to the Springboks in Wellington is it's a huge boulder underneath the beach towel. It's not a pebble or a rock. It's just no. I kind of disagree. Yeah.
I'm not going to get over it. And even if we go through and we win this Grand Slam, we win in South Africa next year, we win the World Cup. Of course, that is a massive redemption. But I'm sure that every South African fan still looks at North Harbour 57-0 as an embarrassed by, and you've got to be embarrassed by that result. Every single United fan has got to be embarrassed forever. And it's not the 7-0 at Anfield. It's losing 5-0 at Old Trafford.
Yeah. What about 6-1 to City?
Well, we lost 6-1 to Tottenham.
Oh, that's right. You guys are bad.
Brian Scher, Schaare, says, you're not beating Ireland or England. Wales, yes. Scotland could go either way.
Go either. Where's this guy from?
Honestly, Brian, do you honestly think that? Because we're winning at least 3 of these, mate. Dynamic Sports Facilities Australia says, are people actually aware how poorly the All Blacks are playing? A Grand Slam, wow. Again. Watch us go. I think that we win 3, and I could see us winning 4. If we beat Ireland and England, we win all 4.
Yeah, I mean they are without a doubt the toughest of the two.
We're not listening to you, Scotland.
No, I think we can win all 4 for sure.
Scotland,
but if we win all 4, what does that mean for the whole Test season? Because that's 6 wins in a row to finish the year. It's 2 against an improved Australia side. It's 1 on the road, 2 on the road, 1 being on the road against Ireland and on the road against England.
We will debate this.
A win at Twickenham's good.
That's it. At the end of this, if we do that, well, we're all going to sit here and go, okay.
Well, we did the same thing last year. We lost twice to South Africa, and then all of a sudden we started to play pretty well. Beat Ireland. Should have beaten France.
Should have beaten France. If we'd beaten France, it would have changed the whole perspective of last year.
But everyone was a bit more positive, and then we get to South Africa, and then we lose 43.
My man, Christos Fokas.
Excuse me?
Christos Fokas. He
spell that surname, please.
Focas. I went to school with all the Focuses. They were a few years ahead of me. A very well-established Greek family in Wellington. Hello to you all. Christos has followed us across from...
Yeah, that was at the platform. Yeah.
That's right. He just posted a really nice post about Harry Godfrey, wishing him all the best after that injury update came. It's really lovely, and he just put this sucks with a broken heart beside it. Yeah, mate, I'm gutted by that. I've got so much time. During Super Rugby, I said that you've seen the future of the All Blacks, Roy Gard and this guy. And I've got so much time for this dude. Get well, mate. Take your time. Yeah.
Take your time.
Take your time. Here we go. Jason Wardleberry, New Zealand. The Broncos beat the best teams in the finals, grand final, and then he's just got so many trophy emojis, bear emojis, ball emojis, Raiders, Penrith, Storm, deserved winners, gold medal emojis. I put that in for you, Lock.
Yeah, minor premiers, came back from 16 down. Week off and then beat the 4-time defending premiers. You've got to beat the champ to be the champ.
There you go.
Down 14-0, beat them 16-14, and then beat the perennial heavyweights of the comp for the last 20, however many years, and beat them on the road. I was on the road for Melbourne as well, but on the road for Brisbane. Yeah. It's at least in my time as an NRL fan, it is the greatest finals run.
Yeah, it is brilliant.
But I always think Penrith's in 2021 was pretty good. After losing the first week, they then had 3 incredible wins after that.
And remember that they also, I don't think, conceded more than about 8 or 9 points a game or 10 points a game.
They lost like 16-10 week 1, then they beat Parramatta 8-6, and then they beat Melbourne 10-6. And Melbourne that year, just quick, in 2021, go back and look at the numbers, that Melbourne team was unreal, and the way that Penrith only held them to 6 points.
Let's not forget also that in a couple of these games, the Canberra game, Canberra thought they'd won it at the end.
Yeah.
Video ref called them back. And the Penrith game and also the final, both times, there was a moment with seconds to go where they could have scored.
Melbourne very much so. No points were scored in the last 23 minutes, and Melbourne broke our defensive line twice, I think. And they had territory, they had possession, they had chances.
Yeah, so you defended well.
Yeah. Yep. The Penrith game, the moment of that one is when Cleary could have put them up by 16-0 with a penalty and decided to go for the jugular and kick to the corner, and then we ended up holding them out, and then we scored our points. That's the moment for Penrith.
Another one from Jace. Thanks so much, mate. Appreciate you. Fair play, bravo for calling out the likes of Kane in New Zealand cricket. You've spoken what we're all thinking. Couldn't believe it myself. T20 in October, and congrats, Lock. Nice to see a different team take up the grand final. I've had a lot of comments about what I said about New Zealand cricket and that series, and I stand by every word of it. Listen, I have no problem with any of these players, and the same as the R360 players, taking the cash and running. Don't have a problem with it. But there is a consequence to it. You know, you can't have cake and eat too sometimes in your life and sometimes in the world. And we all make these decisions, and I've made them myself in my career where I've thought I've gone after, and I've signed contracts for money because that has been the carrot, and look back at it now and think that was a really dumb thing to do. What I should have done was actually stuck with what I was doing. And you have to make these decisions. If the money is that important to you, and it can be life-changing and generational wealth and all of that kind of stuff, take it. But as far as New Zealand cricket are concerned, if you can't be asked coming back and playing the Chapel Hadley, and look, I would rather that the players were honest and actually said to us, you know, this doesn't mean anything to us. We can't be bothered. You know, I'm just interested in the at least be bloody honest about it. But I'm sick of these platitudes where you'll sit them in front of a camera and they'll say, "Oh, Chapel Hadley, oh, you know, it means so much to me," and it doesn't mean jack to you. Kane Williamson is your hometown man, and you can't be bothered turning up to play that. But you want to play the T20 World Cup in India? Oh, yeah, because that's where the bright lights and the cameras and everything's on, and that actually gets you more contracts going for... No. There comes a line in the sand to me where they say, listen, there's always another young player behind you. You've done great things for New Zealand cricket, Kane. I love and respect you as a player, but there's another guy waiting, okay? I want to see him play for New Zealand because he cares about playing for New Zealand.
Two things. Imagine if this was the All Blacks. Imagine if you had you had Will Jordan, you had Ardie Savea, our best players, say, I'll play these 2 tests against South Africa. I'll play the Lions series in 2029. I'll play the World Cup in a couple of years. I don't really want to play this series against France. I don't want to do this.
This is what R360 could do. What is your answer to that as a fan? What is your answer?
Don't give R360.
But what is your answer to that as a fan?
For the cricket side of things.
No, for the rugby side of it, if that's the case.
Well, that's not going to, but it wouldn't happen. My point is it wouldn't happen with New Zealand rugby. They'd because they already have it to an extent with R360, where they put their foot down and said, if you want to go play for that, you can't play for us. So that's what New Zealand cricket needs to do.
They need to grow some cricket balls.
They need to make it a prerequisite in the contracts to all the players that you play a minimum number of matches in all formats for your national side every single year. And if you're
selected,
and obviously if you're healthy, if you're injured, it's a different. Different story. But if Kane Williamson says, and look, we love Kane Williamson. He's an absolute icon of New Zealand cricket. He's been a great servant. But if he's to say, I don't want to play this series, I want to go play this or do this, whatever, it's like, cool. then you're not a black cap.
No, you forfeit that.
Yeah.
That's it.
No, you're not a black cap.
That's it.
You've got to restore some pride in the jersey, and when the players are kind of sort of not stamping on the pride, but they're
this
disregarding
is the Chapel
it.
Hadley. Okay, it doesn't get any bigger in New Zealand cricket than the name Sir Richard Hadley.
Like I
thought it was disrespectful.
If you don't want to play, that's fine.
Yeah, just say
but
it.
You're off the team.
Yeah, that's it.
It's as simple as that. You're off the team.
Couple on John Mitchell, Dawn and Gary Morgan. And look, there was some real vitriol posted about John in the interviews that we had. And that does really sadden me because, I believe that people have a chance or should be given a chance to redeem themselves. A lot of people are really angry about the Christian Cullen thing, him dropping Christian back.
Yeah,
and
still.
Some
people in the office that I was talking
22
to about
years
it,
later.
they're still filthy about it.
Okay, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. But I like this one. John Mitchell, I've forgiven himself for whatever circumstances that scenario you were in meant. I have forgiven you. We all make mistakes. I've certainly made many in my life, like most people. You've bounced back better than expected, considering the treatment and the challenges you faced in your career. And don't forget what happened to him in South Africa with that home invasion and stuff, okay? I mean, to get back from that and to, be the man that he is today, I've got a lot of respect for that. All the best for your future and keep on keeping on. And then to counter that is this one. You can't redeem yourself. All you're going to be remembered for is dropping one of the most gifted and loved All Blacks. Talk about words.
Shut up.
Okay.
Shut up.
Don't
read out that comment. Sorry. Disagree with that.
Well, I only
entirely.
put that in because I just wanted to. That's one of a lot of people who've kind of reacted like that. I just hope that, I don't know, you find something in your heart, the people that really are anti this guy, watch the interview again and actually believe that he's a different person than he was 22 years ago. He is a different person.
He is. He made a decision. It obviously... it backfired from some perspective, I'm sure. He made a mistake. Move on. It's just sport, for goodness sake. Come on.
Usual 9. Why don't the backers of R360 work with World Rugby and pour money into the current structure, help the smaller unions, etc.?
That would be wonderful. It's not what they want, though.
No. Couple to go from Siraj Fakir. Perfect score that Murray gives. I hope I pronounced that right, mate.
Spell the surname, please.
Serajfakir.
Fakir.
Fakir, I suppose. Mex gave it a 60%. And I just looked that up on ChatGPT. It said, in New Zealand universities, 60% is a B- a solid pass.
Yeah, when I was at high school, 60% was a merit, which merit's great. If you get merit on things, that's really good. 60%, that should be just above a par. This should be a C+.
Well, that's a guy who wore the jersey with pride for, over 70-something consecutive games for the All Blacks. He's got every right to give his opinion. I gave it a slightly higher, a B. If we go to up north and win all 4 tests, I'll probably squeeze a B+ out of that because it's a hell of a way to finish, notwithstanding those 2 defeats, which are not going to be forgotten. But at the moment, I'm solid on a B.
I think if we can win all 4, that changes things for me as well. But at the same time, at the moment, it's a C+ for me.
God, I just want to be happy about this. The All Blacks have won 2 games in a row. God, and then
Well, again, it's just I don't mind losing if you play relatively well and you just get beaten by a better team. I absolutely can handle that.
Wellington result, yes, still stings.
The way we just leaked those points at the end was just soft.
Finally, this photo up on your screens now closes out Mailbag. And this Lachlan and Kempy comes in every week having a bet. And true to who he is, fronted up on Tuesday with the Bears. Yep. There they are.
I've already had 4 of them. Yep. And I knew that if Kempy won the bet and Storm won the game and won the bet, he'd be absolutely hounding me.
No, you had to front up on Tuesday.
I know, which I would have probably...
Kempy drinks Pals, by the way.
Yeah, he told me that, Pals. Yeah. Pals aren't bad.
No, I like Pals, but it's just,
They're a bit soft. They're good for summer.
This is Kempy,
I know. Well, Supercharger suits him a bit better.
That's what I would have thought, yeah.
It's my favourite beer, yeah.
Congratulations, Lachlan. Keep them coming, people. We love all your contributions and all your comments. Mailbag up.
DSPN.